Hello everyone, it's Liz with Love here and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you are a regular here. Today I was wondering about what I could build in Windenburg since I recently got get together and I just love the world and I wanted to create something in it. And then this weekend collab popped up on Simmer Squad, which is a Discord channel, which if you're not a part of yet, you definitely should be. I will leave a link below. And the idea for the collab was to do a coffee shop, to create a coffee shop or create two Sims who are going to go on a blind date in a coffee shop. And of course I am a builder at heart, so I decided to build this cute coffee shop in Windenburg. And my idea is it's like a little coffee shop fit between two buildings, and the buildings are generally quite polished. Rich people live there and they don't really like anything too quirky. And then in between them is this cute little coffee shop, which is very extra and very quirky. You're gonna see what I mean. And it's actually not just a coffee shop, it's actually also a flower shop. And it's actually also kind of like a community gallery painting shop kind of thing. I don't know what to call it, but that's what it is as well. There's like plenty of paintings around the walls. And I imagine that the owner probably really loves art. Maybe they studied art and then they decided to go more into the coffee making business, but they still want to support the local artists. So that's sort of my idea. And on the first floor of this building, there's actually a little flat for the owner. So I know that businesses don't include coffee shops in The Sims. Like, you can't run a coffee shop. But I love this idea and I wanted to go through with it. So you can't run this coffee shop and it's set as a coffee shop, but you could convert it into a residential build and live in it. So that's kind of your choice. You could just, leave the upper floor there, imagining that's where the owner lives, but not really have them there. Something like that. And so the other two buildings are empty. I didn't build anything in there because the video would be just extra long if I did that. But they're like little two townhouses, and in between them there is this cute coffee shop. And I was imagining this being as part of like a row of townhouses, and I was actually quite inspired by some townhouses that I saw here in the UK, in the city that I live in, where when I went on a walk I just saw like a really cute townhouse coffee shop in between two townhouses, and that's what kind of inspired me to create this build. As you can see, there's like a back staircase in the back that the owner probably uses to go up to the flat. There's not an entrance in the front into the flat itself, it's just in the back. And I was having quite a bit of trouble picking out the windows for this because I really wanted to reflect that difference between the quirky, colorful coffee shop and those quite normal, very standard buildings. But I think I'm kind of happy with the windows. It's the one on the upper left of the coffee shop that's still kind of annoying me when I look at it. And I feel like the upper floor of the coffee shop is gorgeous on the inside, but on the outside, I don't know, I didn't love it from the outside. You'll see what I mean once I get to, decorating the outside, because I tried so many things. I did cut out a few, but nothing just worked well for that. So I just left it as it was, and you're gonna see how I left it in a minute. And now I'm just adding some floor trims, some roof trims, things like that, the little bit that make the build really feel a bit better. And I added this little like ice cream shop, sort of like overhang roof, because I thought that looked very coffee shop to me, and it added a bit of color as well to this build. And as I said, the coffee shop is a lot about color. Once you get to the owner's flat upstairs, you'll see a lot of color that should probably not be together, that should probably be a little more, regulated within the apartment, because it's very colorful. There's like flowery wallpaper, and there's blue kitchen and plenty of plants all around the place, and yellow and blue and red and pink. It's very wild. So now I am getting to decorating the actual shop front. I'm putting up some plants in the front, as well as like some plants in front of the other two houses, because I didn't want them to look too bare, but I also didn't want them to, be as detailed as the little coffee shop, because that's the whole idea behind it. And I added some bikes in the front because I thought, maybe somebody biked there to get some ice cream or a coffee. And this idea of the shop front actually came from my friend Julia, and I'll link her channel down below because I saw her post a Twitter image of like a shop front with plenty of flowers in the front. I assume it was a flower shop. And I was thinking, hey, I want to build something like that. And then I got the idea of merging the coffee shop with a flower shop as well. But I'll link her channel down below. Definitely check her out because she is absolutely amazing. She is the most talented builder I have ever seen online, and I am not exaggerating. If you're following me and you enjoy builds, I guarantee you're gonna enjoy her channel as well. You're gonna maybe enjoy it even more than mine. Now, I wanted to add some texture, that's the word, some texture to the front of the build, so I also added some plants climbing up the walls, and then I got to the back, and under the stairs I just put a bunch of crates, just so it looks like there's plenty of deliveries of things like fruit or produce for the cafe. I also added a flower arranging table in the back. There is one on the inside as well, but I wanted to have one in the back too, just so, the flower shop aspect of this can really be seen through the whole build. And I think we're slowly gonna be going inside now. Yes, we're going inside now. So as I said, there is the first thing that goes down is the florist arranging table. And I'm also adding, of course, the cafe station. And this is my first time actually building a cafe, so I was not really that sure what you need from like the coffee making machines. So I also popped another one on the counters there as well. I'm pretty sure all you need is already on that coffee station, but I just wanted to be sure, And the idea of this coffee shop is that it is really full of stuff. It's very crowded, there's a lot going on, and there's not an empty place anywhere in sight. I also added some of the Realm of Magic plants to be hanging sort of over the flower arranging table because it really reminded me of flower shops. Now, here in the UK where I live now, there's not really that many flower shops. Like, I rarely ever see a store that just specializes in selling plants and flowers. But I'm from the Czech Republic, and I feel like we have florist shops and flower shops absolutely everywhere. And they always have, a bunch of plants like that they could add to the bouquets as kind of like fillers hanging behind the tables where they arrange the stuff. So I thought that might be quite a cute detail, especially since, Windenburg is quite inspired by mainland Europe. It doesn't look very Czech. It looks quite German, and to be fair, to me it seems most Belgian, but I've only been to Belgium once, so like if there's any Belgian people out there who I am now insulting by saying that Windenburg looks Belgian, I'm sorry. Anyways, as I said, this is gonna be very, very cluttered, so I'm adding a bunch of stuff in the kitchen as well. I did make sure to leave like an empty, or like mainly empty cupboard so that they could have one to chop up veggies on or something if you were to cook in there. I don't know how much the baristas actually need, how much space they actually use. I don't know. As I said, I just recently got get together, so I don't really know that much about how coffee shops work in this game. But yeah, so now that I had like the coffee, barista and flower arranging stations ready, I got into just decorating the whole space really, and I wanted to have quite a few floral arrangements around the place as well as other plants from the game. So there's plenty of like sunflowers as well, but if you didn't know, you can just easily get the flower arrangements if you unlock the debug menu, or I think they already unlock with the first sheet that you use. So if you just use the bb.show hidden objects, it should already show you the arrangements. You shouldn't have to enter bb.show live edit objects as well, as far as I'm concerned. I think so. And yeah, just adding some pet bowls as well, because I imagine it's quite common for people here to come with their pets. Maybe it's like a pet-friendly cafe. That would be really nice. I know that some plants are toxic to cats or dogs, so I don't know how that would work, but let's just assume they only use pet-safe plants out of the plants that are like all around the place. And as I said, this is quite quirky, so there's mismatched chairs, and the chairs are also the different color than the tables. And now you can see me starting to decorate the walls and putting up a lot of paintings. There's a lot of paintings, and even more paintings in this build. Because as I said, my idea is that this lady who runs this place, I imagine her as a lady, could be a guy, could be. Anyways, I imagine her as quite an art lover. She's an animal lover. She loves plants. She loves to make coffee, and she's quite entrepreneurial. I imagine her as quite a young woman. Like, sometimes I build builds like this that are quirky and, very cluttered, and I say that it's a grandma build. But really, you don't have to be a grandma to have like a cute cluttered house with lots of color and things like that. So I imagine maybe the lady who runs this place is like in her late 20s, maybe early 30s. She's single, she just lives, maybe she doesn't have a cat or dog because there's no pet items upstairs. But she could have one if you were to play here. You could adopt one, you could put it in Brindleton Bay and adopt a stray or something like that. It is on the gallery if you want to download it, but it is using quite a few packs, I think. I will be trying to make more builds with limited packs. One of the builds that I have coming in the upcoming week is actually only using 3 expansions, and it's just like a giant build. So I'm gonna try and use more restricted packs in my builds as well, so that it's easier for you guys to download. Would you like me maybe to do like a base game build? Because I used to do a fair share of base game builds back in the day when I only had base game. And I got kind of like fed up with building with base game only because I spent so long building with just base game. But if you guys want to see it, I can do it. Just let me know in the comments and consider it done. It just may take a while before I get to it because I have like an endless amount of notes on what I want to create for my YouTube channel. Like, if I were to upload a video every day for the upcoming month, I have the content. I don't have the time, but I have the content ideas. And this really looks like a cafe that I've been to sometime, but I can't recall like what exactly is the inspiration behind this place. It reminds me of some place, and maybe it's just like a mixture of places that it reminds me of, but it looks very cozy. And as you can see, I'm using those jungle adventure baskets as like little trays for the plants. Like, I just put them under the flowers or the flower arrangements or something like that. I do quite like doing that, and again, you can find these in the debug menu of Jungle Adventure. And I added the little stool from Jungle Adventure as well, and I have a tendency to use this stool every single time as a side table. So my instinct was, yeah, let's place something on it. And then I realized, you know what, it could actually be used, surprise surprise, as a stool. So now you can see me moving on to the actual back of the house. I added another bike in there, and I moved on to the upper landing, and I added plenty more plants because you guys know I love plants, and it really fits this build to have a lot of plants since it's a florist shop. And then slowly I'm going to be moving on to the inside, but I think this is where I realized that I forgot to put lights down. I mean, there's the subtle saucer lights, which I use just like to light it up so I can build, but I always forget to replace these with the actual lights for the build. You guys know this. I always come back to place down lights because I forget about it. Happens in every single video. I dare you to name a video that I have created where I don't forget about the lights for at least a minute. Now, I am moving on to creating the upper flat, and the layout was quite instinctive. I basically figured it out on first try, which doesn't happen too often. And for coffee shops, you generally, like in the requirements of a coffee shop, it says you need a bathroom, you need a toilet, but there's not one downstairs. So like there's only an upstairs toilet, which I was aware of when I was building this, but I couldn't have possibly fit a loo downstairs. It just wasn't happening. So I just decided, you know what, maybe not all cafes have bathrooms for the customers, you know, it happens. And if it's like a converted townhouse or something, it's very possible that the townhouse only had like one bathroom, and that's upstairs. Anyways, now I am creating the kitchen, and it doesn't look as well now, but look what I add. The flower. the flower wallpaper. Wallpaper. Yeah, that's it, Lucy. Great job, you can speak. Sorry guys, it's just some words like wallpaper. Yeah, with some words I just can't pronounce them when there's like a very specific combination of sounds that are not as frequent in my mother tongue. I struggle a lot, which you probably have noticed in some words like wallpaper. Anyways, the struggles of being bilingual but English actually not being like your language that you've been taught since you were born. Anyways, I am also adding quite a bit of art upstairs. I added the little cat calendar. Is it cats and dogs, that calendar? I think so. And this build made me realize that I use cats and dogs items all the time. I feel like cats and dogs has to be my most used pack for building, because I built quite a lot of builds like this one, you know, like cozy, cottagey, quirky, things like that. And cats and dogs is brilliant for that. It has a lot of cat lady items, and I feel like I use a lot of cat lady items in all of my builds, just everywhere. I should probably try to build modern, maybe then I wouldn't use this pack, but I suck at modern builds, guys. I'm gonna admit it, I suck at building modern. If you want to torture me, make me build modern. So I of course added a fireplace because that's what you need for the cozy feels, and I added this little candle in a little, what is it, like a light, what do you call it, like that thing the candle is in? A lantern? It's a lantern, right? Yeah, the words for lantern. Oh, thank God I remembered, because if I didn't remember, I would be thinking the whole day, oh my God, what's that thing that you call that? And I added some holiday cards and some clutter around the computer. I thought that the lady would probably have an older computer, because even though she may be younger, I was thinking she's maybe a little old-fashioned. She likes things less driven by technology and things like that. She's not very tech-savvy, so that kind of worked well for the story that I had in mind. And these university armchairs are also really great for cat lady builds. They look very cat lady-like. And similar with this fireplace, I use this fireplace so much. Cats and Dogs has a really good fireplace, and is this one Parenthood or is it also Cats and Dogs? I'm not sure, but this fireplace is amazing. I'm pretty sure it's Parenthood, but I don't want to lie, so if anybody knows, please correct me. And of course, another bunch of plants over there. And then I moved on to furnishing like the entryway, but I did cut out the footage, and you'll just see me jump to, yeah, now you can see me actually finishing up that area, because my camera was just moving around too much. It would be awful to watch. But you can see it in the footage that I did leave in there, and I think it's in the screenshots. If it's not, I'm sorry. And you can definitely download this build just to see that area, of course. And for the bed, I spent quite a while deciding on what to use. I did kind of play around with the idea of using the vampire's bed for a bit, but then I decided to go with the season's bed because, fight me on this, but this is the best bed in The Sims. It is the best looking bed, it fits a lot of different builds. Seasons is just amazing for build and buy. Like, if you're building a house with just base game and seasons, it's so easy compared to like if you're building a house with just base game and I don't know, Get Famous or something like that, or City Living. I love City Living, don't take me wrong, it's probably my favorite pack play-wise. Build-wise, I gotta say Island Living or Cats and Dogs, because these are the items that are used the most or that I like the most. And I do build quite a lot in Sulani, so that's why I use Island Living building a lot. Oops, something just fell in my kitchen. Sorry guys if you heard that. Anyways, we are getting towards the end of the build slowly. I'm just finishing up the bedroom. And in a minute you'll see me put down the little toddler stuffed pillows there, because I thought that the area was a little bare and needed something, but there wasn't space for a chair. So I added these pillows and a little open notebook, and I absolutely love adding areas like that to my builds. It just makes them look so cozy, and like just the idea of Sims sitting on the floor makes me feel comfy. I don't know why, but it just does. And of course I had to have like quite a colorful bathroom, so I actually used this movie hangout mirror for the first time ever. I think it really fit this build, but I don't usually add it because it's quite small and it doesn't fill up as much space as I would like it to. Now we are moving on to the screenshot so that you can have a look at what this turned out looking like. They are a little more yellow than I wanted, but the lighting was just weird, and when I edited them they went very yellow, so sorry about that. Anyways, I'm gonna go now. Make sure to check out the Simmer Squad because they have collabs like this one happening every single week, and you can also join. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're not already, because 30% of the people who watch my videos are still not subscribed. Alright, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Bye!